Hey, this is Notser, and today we're taking a look at the public test server where 10.0 is testing the brand new commander skill trees. Each class gets their own. This is the cruiser, and 1.2 million elite commander XP gone. That is, of course, the cost to go from a 19-point commander to a 21-point, the brand new max level. It's 500,000 for the 20th point and 700,000 for the 21st point. You need those 2 points because priority target and a drill and rush both cost 1 extra point. So there's those 2 points. Yay. But it's not all bad because you get to preview the build before you actually lock it in. And you just saw me lock it in. And it switches from white to gold. And it's really a feature that prevents any accidental mistakes that might occur. One that probably allows Wargaming to, not give back any doubloons for an accidental respec. But if it's built in by default, everyone benefits. So I at least appreciate that feature. Now let's showcase the game and talk about the differences between my live Des Moines build and my public test server new commander skill tree Des Moines build. So we're going to approach this. We've skilled in a couple brand new skills. One of them being 8% faster main battery reload when the enemy is spotted inside your base detection range. Now, the base detection is whatever your standard ship detection is when you load into the game. This is obviously influenced by concealment module and the concealment skill. So in this example, 10.9 is the gold standard. If any enemy ship is spotted within 10.9 kilometers of my ship, I get 8% faster reload. Which is a nice bump up. This is a brand new skill. Now, as cool as that is, Wargaming, there's absolutely zero indication that this is active in real time. And there needs to be. So could you possibly solve this with some buff indication that is displayed some part of the UI so that players know in real time when they're benefiting from these things? Because this might be a pretty straightforward one, but there's a lot of activatable passives that the threshold is not particularly obvious that it's actually there. Now, on top of this, 10% faster secondaries also applies, but that's not really a big gain, let's be real. 7% higher damage on my AP shell, though, is a very nice trait for an AP specialized cruiser like the Des Moines. Now, those are the pickups. We also got a slightly improved turret traverse from the main the expert marksman skill. It's a 1 point now instead of 2, and it's renamed for whatever reason. But it gives 20% with the enhancement versus 1%, 1 degree per second, what it is on live. And that comes out to, on the Des Moines, it's 1 second faster for the guns to traverse 180 degrees, which is nice, but it's not honestly as nice as some of the skills that they've omitted from the cruiser skill tree. Now, the skills that I am lacking completely, preventative maintenance, gone. I do not get 30% improved protection from incapacitation for my modules and, my guns. That's a pretty nice feature if you're going to make yourself tanky, as I play. I have no 5% improved consumable reload skill, Jack of all trades. It's not available at all. And I don't have 2% improved fire chance. That skill has been nerfed. It's now 1%, and it's 1 point cheaper. But regardless, clearly, the biggest takeaway from the differences is I give up some tank ability for some damage output. That's the quintessential difference, and I would honestly say that fits right in line with all of the other classes that I've tested so far. Obviously, this is my first video for you guys, so you're learning just as I am. The enemy is interested in pushing very hard and through this gap, but I obviously wouldn't recommend it. But this is a great example of that activatable passive. Finding solid cover that you can manipulate to your advantage to use your radar is already baked into your very core of the Des Moines. So Doing something like this play is already natural. You don't have to change your playstyle at all to benefit from the 8% faster main battery reload. And for a radar ship like the Des Moines, you already do this. You're already actively trying to get targets within 10 so that you can activate your radar. 10 is well within, by a kilometer, of your standard detection. Obviously, there's no passive indicating it, but I think it really needs it. It really, really needs it. But yeah, in this situation, all these offensive skills, they're great. These situational offensive skills are fantastic. But let's say the situation isn't this cut and dry. Let's say that, I don't know, you would prefer to build your ship tanky. It's not really the best option. They removed effective skills, and they left you less effective skills. I don't know why they think that the little alert that's on your screen that a shell's coming at you 4.5 kilometers. You know what else can do that? Your eyes. You can literally look at the ship that fired at you, and you will know they're firing at you. So it's weird to me that they would remove effective tank skills for cruisers, fire prevention, preventative maintenance, jack of all trades, high alert, and we're left with this. Extra torpedo speed, extra torpedo damage, extra torpedo flood, all the torpedo options that are completely useless. It's just really apparent to me that Wargaming had motives that were not pure. When presenting this as an opportunity to add variety, that's exactly what it could have been if you wouldn't have removed so many defensive skills. Because now I look at the cruiser tree and I just see glass cannon. And why do we need to make the squishiest class in the game even more of a glass cannon? Because some tier 9 and tier 10 premium and a special ship that's overplayed in certain forms of our game because we put artificial limits on what can be pulled. Are we really willing to make all those sacrifices for 5 or 6 ships? It seems like a weird idea. So my proposal, instead of making all of the defensive skills be removed from ships like the Minotaur and the Des Moines and, the Atlanta, why not just separate the cruisers, the light and heavy, from the super? The ones that are kind of battleships. That way you could actually make a tree that would be appropriate for the super cruisers, and you could make a tree that would be appropriate for the light and heavy cruisers. It seems to me the best option. And you might be going, oh, well, Notser, I like using the same commander for all my cruisers. I do this. I use my Des Moines commander for my Alaska, my Puerto Rico, any of those American super cruisers. I absolutely use the same commander. You've built that into the system. You can freely have that effect because the same commander can be trained in all different specs. So my Halsey, for example, could be trained as a destroyer commander, a cruiser commander, a battleship commander, a aircraft carrier commander, a submarine commander, maybe a super cruiser commander. And as long as I can move my commander into a ship and he can function at 100%, it works perfectly. So best example, I have him assigned to my Des Moines, but maybe I want to play on my Kid or my Massachusetts. I could have Halsey also have a Massachusetts secondary build and also have a DD gunboat build for my Kid, anti-air, and it could all be assigned to the commander without having to respec. Clearly, that's a really great addition. Why not leverage that technology for the supercruiser? I just think that would address a lot of my concerns, probably 98% of my concerns with the up-and-coming crew skills, the commander skill changes. It just makes too much sense to me. And, comments, if there's an issue with that, please let me know. That isn't apparent. Obviously, the skills are going to be slightly different. Obviously, it's not going to be one-to-one, perfect, but it'll be something like that. I just think that it's really silly to remove the tanky aspect of a ship when you have so many great skills that already work great. and risk it on some situational activation skills and spending months and years figuring out exactly how good these skills actually are, it seems to reason just keep the ones that work and add more and prevent any extreme, and you're good to go. I think that would honestly be the best solution, because I really like the addition. There's a skill that specializes with HE and SAP. So if you don't like AP, you can do that. That's a nice thing. There's a lot of different skills that maybe extend the duration of the activation portion of a consumable versus the reduction in the reload. So, in effect, it's giving you something like Jack of all trades, but it's doing it in a different way. There's some interesting aspects to the game changing, and the cruiser specifically, but I just can't overlook the absolute glaring omission of these tank skills. It just doesn't make any sense. And if it doesn't make any sense, there's something going on. And I just hope that it gets addressed. But, as far as this is concerned, we did great damage against broadside targets with Des Moines with AP. We would do that before this as well. So, in effect, nothing's really changed. Just a lot less tanky. And, yeah, GG, guys. Obviously, the game's small, and, there's no DD in this one. So, it's not a good, perfect example. But you can clearly think about the set detection activating 8%. How could you use that? You could not take some concealment skills, keep a worse concealed ship, and benefit from that reload longer. I've heard of the unique upgrade, the legendary for the Henri. It has a negative to detection. Just use that. Don't take the concealment skill, and you can get it out to 17 kilometers as your base detection, basically a battleship. Well, guess what? If there's a ship within 17 kilometers of your ship detected, you get that 8% reload. These activated passives that have a concealment check, they actually make the player think more about whether they want to take concealment skills. Because, risk versus reward. Risk that your vision longer, you're easily spotted by DDs, you have absolutely no hope of approaching them without it. But you get faster reload when anyone is within your base detection. And if basically everyone that is within your base detection is providing you a reload boost, that's effectively as if you procced Halsey. And that's pretty nice. So, some ships might be less concealed, like the French, but they can move faster. So they're less concealed, they might take more damage, aka potential damage, but they'll be able to fire faster. So I really like that. Works really well with Drill and Rush. That concept fits. But you need more indication that you're actually benefiting from these things now, Wargaming, because there's too many skills now that have this. We need some buffs, just like World of Warcraft. We need the time it's on. Should be able to hover over it, tell us exactly the effect. It just needs to be there, and it would make this so much better. I really think you need to have it in before you launch it. It's going to make it such a better quality of life for everyone. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to check out more of my content, you can click the most recent or the most relevant uploads. You could also choose to subscribe to my channel. We do World of Warship videos, first impression, how-to, news, and review. My North American recruitment link is on screen. I stream at twitch.tv/Notser. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.